Hi guys.
Welcome back.
To another episode. I'm going to start with our favorite topic,
Which is?
the weather.
Yeah. I actually, the whole drive here was like, maybe we should record outside.
I
Maybe we should have an outdoor
know.
episode today because it's supposed to get cold in the next
I
couple
know.
days. And like,
So, we've become the weather channel.
yeah.
If you didn't know, we have it's like 70 degrees outside
It's
in
so
Chicago today.
nice.
It's like the nicest day we've had, I don't know, since
In like 6 months.
October, maybe.
And we said that 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and
You
it's
know,
just getting better.
at some point, we're going to genuinely, I'm not even joking, at some point, we're going to have like a graph here. And it's going to
The
have our local
forecast.
area, but it's going to be blurred. So it's just going to be
No,
little Barbie houses. And we're going to be
Once
like, the
things
weather's so
stabilize,
nice.
I do think we'll stop talking about it.
Will we? I don't think we ever
I don't know.
will.
I don't
think
know.
we're
It's just now it just feels like we have to update them.
yeah.
I'm like,
And now I
what
almost feel
weekly
compelled to be
event?
like, what's the weather in your local
No,
area?
literally.
What's the you know what I don't understand though when they say like precipitation and like it feels like I've said this before where it feels like a certain weather. I'm like, that's
Okay,
such
but don't you feel like, okay, if you live somewhere outside of somewhere like Chicago, I can understand where you'd be like, I don't get why the fuck are we doing it feels like and what it is. Just tell me what it should feel like, you know?
yeah.
But in Chicago, the feels like is always so different than the actual temperature because of the wind.
Yeah, but whatever it feels like is the temperature.
Right.
Like that is what it is. But I'm not even gonna keep talking about the weather because I'm getting sick of myself.
Okay.
I hate myself.
Okay, I was gonna say that. Did you know that like meteorology class is like actually super fucking hard? Like I had an English teacher in high school, and she was like saying that she thought it would be like a filler class in college. So
Okay.
she was like, okay, I'll do this like weather reporting class, like whatever, you know. And it ended up being really fucking hard. It's like
I
when you
can
think you're taking like
imagine.
Jazz 101, like fun, and then it's like so
It's like
technical, and you're
so
like,
serious.
oh my God, like I don't even care about jazz. Like, why'd I do this to myself? But yeah, she was saying she was crying. She's like, it is the hardest thing to understand. It is so complicated. It's so sciency. And I was like, yeah, okay, noted.
I believe that because one, I literally started getting nervous for you. I felt like Matthew McConaughey when you were like, nobody cares about jazz. I was like, Sana, the art community right now is in an uproar. And we cannot be
Yeah.
talking, which I actually do like jazz. I'm not even like making that up
No,
to
I
like
like
his
jazz
ass.
too. I
Like
like
it's
jazz
absolutely
too.
fun.
Yeah.
But and I like jazz more for like the what comes with it. Like I
Mm-hmm.
like the live music. I like
Mm-hmm.
the I wish I so badly. I know I won't get it out of my husband, but I so badly want to be like swung beneath a man's legs and then thrown up
Oh, you
grease
like
wild.
that kind
Yeah,
of
like I want to
swingy
do a little like beep,
jazz.
beep, beep. So that I got nervous about that. And then also whenever
You're like, our PR can't
I'm like
handle
our PR. We have no
this.
PR team. Theo's our PR team right now. So I also was thinking like I love Interstellar, but every time, especially Usman, her brother, goes into the nitty gritty of like why the quantum physics of it is so accurate, I'm like,
You lost me.
Sorry, my phone fell.
Dude, you lose me at gravity pushes and pulls against the same thing. I'm like, but where is it? But what is it pushing? So my lamp is pushing. Like, I can't get into it. Then it's like everything's real, everything breathes. Like, then that's where I start going.
Yeah.
But I do feel like I can get behind the energy woo woo. Like, that I can fully conceptualize. I'm like, that makes sense. What you put out is what you'll attract, and karma and all. Like, I totally resonate with that. But then when that starts coinciding with like physics,
It's when it
I'm
starts
like,
coinciding with math. When you're asking me to make an equation to figure out the and there's so many videos that are like the way Islam ties in with quantum physics, and I try so hard to lock in. I'm like, okay, I can
it
do
hurts your
this.
brain, doesn't
And
it?
it hurts my
Yeah, it
brain. And I
does. It
start like
hurts my
going
brain.
off subject and going off track. You know, I was literally telling Rabia this the other day that lately with the political and economic state of the world right now,
World War III.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can't even like anytime something astrology related shows up, I get mad. I'm like, do you think I have time to figure out what my chart and my Aquarius rising looks like right now? You think I really give a shit right now? Like, there's way too much to think about. And honestly, what's it going to do? Because where is the astrology that's going to tell me what's to come, how to cope, how to navigate? Like, has anyone pulled up Trump's chart?
The
You know what I
survival
mean? Has anyone
mechanisms
has
are
figured
in
that out?
season 1 and 2 of Paradise.
Yeah, it's it like, and I love the astrology stuff, and I'm not on board with it, but like lately, this last 2 weeks, I've been getting like mad.
It's like you really realize how much of it is like when you just have idle time. Like astrology is for people who have idle time,
That's what I'm
which
saying.
we did.
Which we did, and where you have the mental capacity, and I'm like, okay, I am on board with astrology, but then why during this time in the world is astrology not being utilized for good? Like,
Yeah.
again, has anyone pulled up Trump's chart and compared it to
Mm.
Netanyahu's chart and been like, are they compatible? Do they make sense? What's to come from them? Are they mad? Like, which they're clearly mad. They're like the fucking mad kings of the world. But I'm like, what? Guys, shut up.
Like
I
if
have
we can use
time.
this to predict when like Bridget in Massachusetts gonna get married, then we should be able to predict
Yeah.
like when the world is
Yeah,
gonna
if we can
end.
figure out like what's the theme and the color scheme of the season for an Aquarius, then like we should be able to use this to like where are the hard hitting, you know what I mean?
But I think that's you just cracked the code. Like it's only for the funsies. Unfortunately.
I mean, I don't know. This is almost like a cry for help where I'm like, astrology
Yeah,
girls,
SOS.
where are you guys? Send us a chart, send us a something, send us a reading. I don't know.
Dude, speaking of the state of the world, I keep seeing videos of people that are like stuck in Dubai and are like the American embassy is doing nothing for us.
Yeah.
Like nothing for us. And then I saw a video today that was like, oh, they're trying to get Europe involved and Europe doesn't want to get involved. And so they were like, basically, if you're trying to travel in the summer, like you need to, and I'm just like, wow. And then at the same time, I'm watching Paradise, which if you don't watch, it's on Hulu. You really need to watch. Although if you're someone that's like I like enjoy like if I'm obsessed with what's going on right now, I'm like, I need to know how to survive. And
Yeah,
you know what I'm
you
saying?
like to
I can dive
watch-
deep.
You like to watch and read and consume whatever matches what's happening in the world right
Or
now.
whatever I'm going through. Like when I would go through heartbreak,
Yeah.
I wanted to watch every depressing rom-com.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
Lucy's like,
yeah,
but
yeah.
that hurts more. And I'm like, exactly. I want it to
Mhm.
hurt. I want it
Yeah.
to sting. I want to watch someone feel my pain. So watching Paradise is very appropriate in like the world. And spoiler alert, the world is ending. What the fuck is happening? How
Yeah.
are people surviving? What does it look like when the world ends? And the people that are left, like what's
Mhm.
wave one of that? Like it's just so fucking spot on. And there were years that's how I used to feel about Handmaid's Tale.
My brain, my next, continue, just please.
Yeah, and like basically that, like I used to watch Handmaid's Tale a lot, and like it was so eerie how much it coincided with what the fuck was happening in the world. And you're like, wait, this could very much happen. And like the people that
Mhm.
are in these movie or in these shows are living just like we're living, and they're like, it's not gonna happen. And then it actually fucking happens. And we're all sitting here like, I mean, it's happening, but then it's like
Yup.
really fucking serious.
You know, the other day, Rabia texted me, and because as much as you are so good about like watching what coincides, which I'm starting, like, I also do most of the time, but then there are moments like, quick pivot, like if I'm going on vacation and I'm going to the beach, I have a hard time figuring out what my beach read is. Because sometimes
Mhm.
I want to read like a thriller or whatever, but that doesn't match where I'm sitting. Do you know,
Mhm.
you know what I
I know
mean?
exactly
So
what
then
you
I
mean.
start like getting confused because I'm like, am I gonna watch this really dark show while I'm on the plane? Like, am I? And the one time during COVID, I did that. I watched I don't remember what the movie was, but it was something about a virus striking through, and you know, it was like the first couple weeks of
Parasite
COVID.
or whatever.
No, it was something else. It
Mhm.
was a movie. It was an older movie, and I literally was having a panic attack. So I don't know where I don't know how, like I'm struggling. But Rabia texted me the other day, and she was like, "Gosh, like with what's going on in the world, like I'm thinking back to what you had said earlier because I was telling our cousins, like, guys, I don't know, we should all get walkie-talkies. We should all have like survival kits." And then Rabia and I at the exact same time sent each other the exact same survival kit off Amazon. And you know how it tells you on Amazon, like, 500 people have bought
Yeah.
this month. In this month, 1,000 people have bought this like survival backpack thing that comes with like a knife that can be used as a can opener, that can be used as like a tent, that can be used as whatever. And it comes with a tent, and you can like put it in your backyard or in your like garage or whatever. And I'm like, okay, like I feel like we should all, as a family, start having these things. I went to Target today and I was looking at caps and there was a cap that had a little American flag and I literally was like, "No,
Oh my
I
god.
can't. I
I think
can't do
about that
that."
all the time. I remember being younger and, like, being I don't know why, but, like, I would love, like, 4th of July
Yeah,
stuff
Old
and
Navy and
vibes,
Gap and the
with
American
the little
flag
American
on the
flag
thing, and I
vibes.
thought it was cute.
Now, I'm like, "Ew, if I wear this, someone's gonna be like, 'You're MAGA.'" And, like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to represent this, like,
I don't wanna represent
embarrassing
things. It's
country.
so
It's
embarrassing
so
to be American
embarrassing.
right now. It's
It's a
so
good time to
embarrassing.
be an immigrant American because, like, when you travel, you can be like, "I'm Pakistani." And
Yeah.
they're like, "But where are you and you're like, "I'm Pakistani."
Yeah, you're like, "I'm obviously from Pakistan. I can
Yeah.
obviously escape to
Because when
Pakistan."
you say you're American, they're like, "Ugh." Yeah.
One time I don't remember where we were going, but when Trump got shot, I was sitting on a plane and it had to have been international because there was TVs, but every single TV switched to the news of Trump getting shot, and I was like, "This is so crazy." Like
You're, like,
sitting,
hiding in your
I'm like, "Do I
seat,
hide? What do
like,
I do?" Like,
ugh.
but I will say it's very like it's so interesting going to different countries and seeing how many people actually know what's going on in America because we're so fucking front and center mean girls as the fucking bitches of the world and that like not only does everybody know because they're curious, but we won't let anyone forget. And we're
Yeah.
like making sure it's out there. And I'm like, wow, I don't know what's going on that deeply. And like, I'm trying to think of like a random place.
Anywhere.
The Netherlands. I don't know what the fuck is going on in the Netherlands. You know what I mean? I don't know what they're mad at, what they're happy with, what's going on.
I remember I think this was when I was in Turkey, I think, but I remember talking to so many people that were traveling and people that were locals, and they were, like, laughing at Americans because 'cause they're like, "You guys" and I learned in that time, I was like, "Wow, we are" first of all, are taught history from such a skewed perspective in the US. Secondly, we don't spend time on current day global
No.
politics or news the way that the rest of the world does.
Yeah.
Like and I was so mind blown. I'm like, "Wait, how do you know that about every country's this and that?" And they're like, "Because you learn it in school." And I was like, "But we didn't learn" like, yes, like, we learned about, like, the fucking oh my god, please, this is gonna hurt my brain too. Like, the
We learned about
Roman
like
empires and all the
yeah, dude, but it's
things
such
and
bullshit. I'm like, we didn't even learn the real nitty-gritty. We didn't even learn about like we're learning about Christopher Columbus like he's freaking Iron Man. Nobody had told me that he potentially maybe had sex with a seal because he thought it was a mermaid or some stupid shit. Like I was like, wait, even slavery, we weren't taught that they made furniture out of people and they like I recently learned where the term motherfucker came from. And it's because during slave times they would make people have sex with their moms. And so then the term coined from
Shut
that. Yeah. Yeah.
up!
Yeah. And I was like, "Oh my god. I thought it was like I don't know, like every single thing we do is so rooted in something so
Fucked up. I mean, even
horrible."
things like, do you remember being in like second and third grade and like you're making hats, like pilgrim crafts and hats, and you're like learning about Thanksgiving and oh, they like taught the Native Americans how to give thanks. And it's like,
Wait, Daphne, that's the
ew. No,
craziest
literally,
gaslighting
it's insane. And now I'm
ever.
like, oh my God, I was over there making like a fucking pilgrim hat. And we were singing
Yep.
all these like pilgrim songs. And I'm like, that's so
You know
fucked.
what's so crazy? One time when I, right out of college, I worked at this teeny tiny little museum and it was called, it no longer exists, but it was called Museum of International Cultures.
Yeah.
And it was just me and the director. And the director was like this sweet little old lady. She
Mhm.
looks like a little Betty Crocker sweet little old lady that you could put on the cover of like a bread bag. And then halfway through working there, I'm like, I think you're racist. And I think you know you are. And then it was confirmed because when Trump won, her daughter went to the inauguration. And she's telling, let me set the
This is
scene.
the first time Trump won.
The first time. Let me set the scene. I'm sitting in my office. There was another desk. And I'm sitting with the president of the NAACP of that chapter. She was hosting an event for the NAACP. So she was using the desk in my office for like a week or so. And whilst she's in my office and I'm having lunch, the director comes and sits with me, and she's telling me about how Trump won and how her daughter went to the inauguration and was going to bring me back a souvenir. And I was like,
oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
You are the director of the Museum of International Soldiers and the president of the NAACP sitting here. Like,
and you're like, don't fucking associate
like,
me.
don't
Like,
put
I
me
don't
in your
want a
cup.
fucking gift. Like,
And
please.
I thought of this because when we were talking about Native Americans, I had done this exhibit on like Native American tribes in Texas. And then we had this whole like exhibit. And a lot of what we have is stuff that was donated. And so there was like a I don't know what to call it, but there was like a Native American outfit, and it was for a woman, but it was like an older outfit, but I'm losing the name, so I'm so sorry, but I like don't remember the name right now. But anywho, we were having an event because it was Native American History Month, and I can hear her on the phone, and she's saying something like, oh yeah, we're gonna have, you know, the kids come over, because we'd have like schools come over, and I was like the docent for a while, so I'd give little tours and stuff. And she was like on the phone with somebody, and she's like, yeah, I'll just have Amna wear the outfit. It's like the same thing. And I was like, what?
Dude, she's gonna get you in trouble.
Yeah,
like,
I didn't wear it. It didn't end up happening, but I was like so appalled. I was like, what are you talking about right now? You want me to put on the outfit? You want me to put it? And I was like, do you think this is like a play, like a Sacagawea play? Do you think that this is a Pocahontas situation where you're like, yeah, Amna's like the same skin color, like just put her in there?
Brown girl.
And I was like, that's the craziest thing. This is the Museum of International Cultures.
Gave her the fucking job.
Right.
How embarrassing.
It was crazy. But my retaliation was from within the system. So I had access to her Facebook and like the museum's Facebook account. And so I would change her cover photo to like, it's Black History Month and it's Native American History Month from her personal and the museum's page. Good. I would like comment as her and like write like putting thumbs up and hearts. And I was like, well, not on my watch. I will not be associated with this.
Dude, that's crazy. I know some of these stories, but hearing you say it, I don't know, like, you know, like when you watch movies when you're younger and you don't realize how fucked up or like, or how racist or how misogynistic they are. And then you watch it as an adult and you're like, oh, like the other day, Muzi and I were watching Yade. And I don't know, I know, like absolute pivot. But Muzi and I were watching Yade, and I don't know if you guys have seen it, but like for us and our family, like Muzi had never seen it, but for us and our family, it was just like such a staple movie. And it actually, I was like bawling crying because I was like, before it started, because I was like, oh my God, just hearing this song and this movie just reminds me of being like young and like watching this movie with my parents and whatever. And so like Muzi and I actually have been watching a lot of old Bollywood movies recently that we haven't seen since we were really little. And it's like the random ones, you know? So like this was one of them. So we're watching it and have you seen it? Or do you remember it?
Not in a long time.
Okay, so there's this like obvious, like Hrithik Roshan's in it, Kareena Kapoor's in it, they're in love with each other, but Hrithik Roshan and Kareena Kapoor's dad are childhood friends. But Kareena Kapoor's family doesn't and Jackie Shroff plays Kareena Kapoor's dad. Real zaddy vibes, by the way.
Oh, I don't remember what he looked like in that movie.
Like, he's such a cute dad. But anyways, Hrithik Roshan isn't able to marry her because like she doesn't have a lot of money. It's like it's like a stupid storyline, but it's just like a sweet movie. But then they have a scene where it's like Jackie Shroff and Hrithik Roshan are like best friends, and there's this rich family, and the daughter's name is Munishka or something, and she's like an American, she's an American Desi girl, and she has like literal pixie cut hair. Do you remember that? Kind of.
It's like itching a part of my brain, but I don't remember.
So she literally has like a pixie cut haircut because she's like the Americanized girl, and Jackie Shroff is trying to show Hrithik Roshan that this girl isn't a good match for him. Like she doesn't actually like fit in with his like values
The
or
brumpra
whatever.
of it
The
all.
brumpra,
Right.
right. So they're sitting together at this dinner and he asks her like, "So, what are your thoughts on like living with your in-laws?" And she goes, "No, like there's no reason to." And
The American girl saying
yeah, and
this?
she's supposed to be like the villain girl,
Okay,
okay?
of course she is.
But she's just saying there are other parts of her personality that are like super fucking obnoxious, okay?
Right,
But
right,
this
right.
specific conversation, it's like, no, like why would I don't want to live with my in-laws. I don't think anybody should have to live with their in-laws. Like we would live on our own. And then he's like, "Okay, but what if your in-laws wanted to come over?" This was the only part that I was like, "Yikes, Manishka." But she was like, "Oh, like yeah, they would have to ask permission and like da 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 da." And then he goes, "What about children?" She's like, "I don't want to have children for like 4 to 5 years after we get married." And the whole time there's like this music playing and it's like, she's the villain and this like
what how
American
dare she?
girl and just going, and then she gets real spicy with Jackie Shroff and he like apologizes and she like really shits on him, right? So then it gets fucking awkward. But some of her responses to those questions, I was like, okay, and
I know I was getting scared that you were about to say like, yeah, and she was so,
no, I'm
like she
like,
was such a bee,
why?
and I'm like,
Like,
wait,
they're villainizing this girl for her responses being like too selfish. And like, he was like, "But this is a part of our culture," and da da da. And she's like, "Yeah, but," and I was like, oh my God, like, even the way that we would, like, it's just a movie that, like you watch this stuff and, or like, so many movies you would watch and you'd be like, wait, like, he's really
you
toxic,
know who else
or,
they made the villains of the movie, and they weren't actually the villains of the movie, is from my actual favorite Bollywood movie is Hum Saath Saath Hain, and the mom's friends were
yeah,
girls
yeah.
who were like, your grown ass sons should not be living, all four of them, in your house in like one bedroom. And it was like
They were like the villain aunties.
worst
Yeah.
influence. She was
Yeah.
like, I can't believe these are my friends. And like the worst thing her son could have done to her was move out of his house
Mhm.
or ask
You
for a
know,
separate bedroom.
when I watched Hum Saath Saath Hai as an adult, I couldn't remember what the storyline was.
Right.
I was like, "Oh, I know, like, yeah, the brothers, and then they get married, and like something happens, like something definitely happens, but I can't remember what like the dilemma was." And then you watch it, and you're like, "Wait, that was the
They just
whole
wanted to move
fight?"
out.
Like it
Your
was,
grown ass sons just wanted to move out.
it was so dramatic.
And it was like the whole family was torn apart. They weren't on speaking terms. The brother had like maybe a little bit of arthritis on his hand, and they're like,
Yeah,
our poor son, like,
yeah.
who's gonna marry our disabled son? And like, he just has like a handshake.
And it's so crazy because I'm like, oh my God, the people making these movies are like the people that they're like obviously older men, and they're like, like, yes, this is the point we have to drive home. These women, they're a problem, they're villains. And then we also watched Haljo, I think, is like another random old school
Yeah.
movie. And dude, they keep slapping the girls in the movie. Like multiple women in that movie were like slapped by a man again and again and again. The third time it happened, I was like, why the fuck is this part of the storyline? That like these women are just getting slapped and then they're like, "Oh, no, like what the fuck is going on?"
Yeah, and they have nowhere to go because
No,
they're
and
like,
they're,
and they
like,
think they deserve
ashamed.
it. Yeah, they're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, he slapped me. How dare I piss off my
Yeah.
husband and his mom because I didn't
Dude.
like the extra dane she put on the side. Like the worst.
The level of like fucked up abuse towards women and the level of like parents are the end all be all control decision respect is so skewed. And I'm like, no wonder all the Desi parents in America are like, our children don't even love us, like, because you think this is love. It's so fucked up.
It's so. Oh my God, I can have like 7 episodes on this alone. Even like the girls in Bollywood movies that were like, I don't want to get married after when I turn 18. I want to work until I'm 25 and then I'll get married. And in every movie it's like, how dare you?
You don't care about your
You
family.
don't care about your family. You don't even care about your own self-respect. How dare you?
How could you do this to us?
Yeah, and it's like, actually, no, I agree with her. I like her. She's my favorite. The aunties in Hum Saath Saath Hain, I'm like, yeah, You should have listened to your girlfriends. They're not the problem. Like
Dude, it's so
it's so
and the movies
bad.
that come out now, oh my god, what is that movie, the rap movie that you were like so into?
Desi?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, with Deepika's husband. What's his name? Everybody stop talking. Everybody stop yelling at me. Hold on. It's coming to me.
I'll get
No, lion. Something lion related. Cher. No, I'm thinking of the guy in the movie.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm talking
Cher.
about.
Yeah, he. Okay,
Oh my
he's in the movie. I'm gonna
God.
look it up
Yeah,
because
look it
we
up.
can't do this right now. I'm gonna try to look it up
But it's
fast.
like the point is the director of that movie is a female. It's a female director. She's I think Javed Akhtar's sister.
Gully Boy.
Gully Boy.
I
And
literally
who
googled
was it
Bollywood
directed
rap
by?
movie. Gully Boy. Gully Boy director is Zoya Akhtar.
Zoya Akhtar,
Her.
yes. And I'm like, oh my god, it's so cool seeing like she's directed some really
I
fucking
actually
good
didn't
movies.
know that the director of that movie
Muzi
was a woman.
so impressed by that. He was like, he could not get over it. He's like, she directed this movie, this like cool ass.
Such a good
It's such a good movie. There's other movies that she's directed that are so fucking good. Oh my god! And
I'm
now,
gonna-
yeah, can you look it
Yeah,
up?
I'm gonna find what other movies she's done. I literally up until this moment had no idea what she had directed. Zoya Akhtar.
Yeah, because I think she did. If I'm not wrong, she did. Oh my god, what's happening to us, dude? Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara.
She did.
Yeah.
She did. Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, The Archies, Gully Boy, Lucky by Chance, Lust Stories. There's a Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara too?
No way.
Why is there a number 2? What?
What? Well, now we need to watch.
Well, now we gotta watch that Ghost Stories.
Yeah. So, anyways, it's thank God that women are in this space now.
Wow.
Thank God, because the storylines that we and the problem is we grew up thinking that this is so normal. This like America's Next Top Model. Like we grew up so toxic.
I have been catching myself so much, and I've done this on the podcast so many times where we've talked about like Ellen, we've talked about Tyra, and we've been like, oh my god, the Tyra show was my favorite show, which it was growing up. Ellen, Dr. Phil, Tyra, Wendy Williams, which I still am going to stand by Wendy Williams right now.
Yeah.
I like those were my every
Yeah.
single
We like
day
looked up to these people.
shows. Bad Girls Club. Like I thought these people were really making it, and I am really trying to like work on my own thought process because even now I catch myself. I finished the first episode of Tyra Banks's documentary of America's Next Top Model. But even now I'm catching myself almost defending them or being like, okay, but at the time, yeah, but she really did do a lot for the, the culture for girls. She really did. Like I'm catching myself doing that, and I can't tell how much of that stays true to what it is versus not, because I can now obviously identify that that's wrong and that shouldn't have been that way.
Yeah.
And then part of me is like, am I dumbing down the girls of the early 2000s or like the industry of the early 2000s being like, no, but they didn't know any better? And then now I'm like, wait, no, but they actually did know better. Like, what am I saying?
No, but like I do think two things can be true. Like I think it can be true that Tyra was doing something and her like at that time
Intent,
when it
maybe?
started, you could tell that her goal was some of the girls that she brought on never would have been brought to light like that ever
Yeah.
if she didn't do that. So like I do think that could still hold true, but it can also still hold true that Tyra went too far
Yeah.
and
Lost the
chose to
plot.
choose herself over a lot of people that she should have cared about and is today choosing not to acknowledge it. And I think that's like the bigger problem. If
That's
she
so
goes through the
valid.
documentary and is like some of the other people, the Jays, and they're like, dude, it was fucked up what we did. Like we didn't think it was fucked up at the time.
Yeah.
But it's like when you're like obviously at a very small scale, but like I remember being in elementary school or middle school and being like a bitch to a friend or like
Yeah.
not being kind or like I have memories of being like that, and then you can recognize as an adult like, oh my god,
That's so
was
true.
fucked
As an
up.
adult, you should be able to look back and be like, ooh, that wasn't my
Yeah,
best
but
moment.
for
Or
you to
like,
be
oh,
like,
I wish I couldn't have done it like that.
This is what I did, and I don't remember what happened to that
It
girl.
was just so like
Chan-
hard.
You haven't gotten to this episode yet.
No.
There's like a storyline that you'll see. It's like, oh my god, I don't remember what happened. Like it's like, dude, You remember what the
Yeah.
fuck happened. You called her back on your show multiple times, put it on a big screen for her to go through again and again. You know what the fuck you did. So this like game of like, I don't really know. I think that's the part that's like, oh,
Yeah.
so that's who you've been this entire time.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like, yeah, that's fucking ugly.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so valid. You know, excuse me. You know who I also recently, because I was watching the Tyra Banks documentary, Anchal. I was like, Anchal was gorgeous. The Desi girl who was on America's Next Top Model.
Okay.
I'm gonna show you her
Yeah.
because I remember when she came on, and I remember thinking she was pretty, but I feel bad now. I remember thinking she was pretty, but I don't think at the time when I was young, I gave her flowers in the way that now, as a grown adult woman with my frontal lobe developed, hopefully, that I'm like, wait a minute, you were stunning. You were stunning, Anjol. But why did everybody around make it seem like you weren't that actually stunning? Because you were a brown girl. I'm gonna show you. You're gonna remember
Oh,
Anjol.
that's so sad.
I know.
You know, I'm watching this new show that Kiki Palmer's in because I fucking love Kiki Palmer,
Ugh,
dude.
the best.
Like,
Sorry, say what you're
no,
gonna
no,
say.
no,
And I'll show
show
you.
me.
Remember Anjol?
Oh yeah, she is
She's
so pretty.
gorgeous.
Yeah, she's
And then I
so
looked up what
pretty.
she's doing recently, and I was like, wow.
She kind of looks like Irene Sarah, like back in the day.
Oh,
Do you see that?
Kind of. I can see what
Yeah.
you're saying now. She's so gorgeous. And I
Yeah.
was like, wow. When I remember watching the episode when it came out and being like, oh, but she's not as pretty as like the other girls.
Or like the Bollywood stars. we've seen.
Yeah, and that's
But
like
she
my
is.
own internal, gaslighting or like
Which
my
is
own
also
corrupt
so funny
brain.
because like the girls that like now when you think about it, so many of the girls that they had in Bollywood were like half white or like white adjacent or like really racially ambiguous to the point where it's like,
Mhm.
wow, they're so beautiful because they're racially ambiguous. But like
Mhm.
very rarely, maybe besides like Kajol and Bipasha, but like still very rarely was it a girl that was like immediately you could tell that they're Indian.
But even Bipasha, I feel like they still always made her like the overtly sexual.
Oh my God,
They never
yes!
made her like the sweet,
Oh my God,
soft
yes!
character. She was always the overly sexual, spicy character.
Yeah, that really bugged me, dude, because I was watching, again, one of the old movies like Meri Yaar Ki Shaadi Hai, and they did that to her, and I was just thinking, I was like, I feel like, and I made a whole storyline in my head where I was like, I bet you that there are girls that we thought were like the coolest, like heroines of these movies that are actual fucking bitches.
Yeah.
And like Bipasha, who they made seem like a fucking slut. They
Yeah.
literally made her seem or only gave her roles where she had to be like the sluttiest girl in the movie.
Yeah.
And she's actually such a good actress. She's so fucking pretty. She was probably so fucking nice.
Yeah. Yeah. She probably was.
And I
the
can't
most-
imagine the things that were said to her. I can't imagine what she's lived through.
I think about this a lot. And I feel like in Bollywood and with Desi directors, casting agents, it has to be 10 times worse. Because when there's a movie and there's like the duff, the ugly friend, the fat friend, the girl who, has this like, she blossoms into a beautiful butterfly. I'm like, what do they put on the flyer
I
to
think that
get
all
the
the
casting call?
time.
How do you
Oh my
find
God.
that friend? What characteristics do
Yeah.
they write down for you to be like, I'm auditioning for this role?
Or like there's this new show on Hulu. It's called The Beauty, and it's a
Yeah,
Ryan
I've seen Bella
Murphy
Hadid's in it,
show.
yep.
Yeah, and it's like people that are like really ugly and then they become like insanely beautiful by this like thing that happens to them, whatever. And I was thinking that for that. I'm like, what do they put as like we need like a really ugly man, a really ugly like what did you put? And then you have to play this person that hates yourself so much.
Yeah.
Like that's so fucking terrible.
And it's so crazy how they gaslight us because 99% of the time, that ugly character is still 9 out of 10 times better looking than your average person.
Mhm.
And we convince ourselves that that person is uglier than like your average.
Or they're just like average
whatever.
looking.
Or they're just. But
Which
that's
is
the
also
thing.
okay.
I'm saying 99% of the time, they're not even average looking. They
Yeah, I get what
actually
you're saying.
are so much more beautiful than
the average
the average person.
Yeah.
But because they're considered the ugly character in the show or the movie, you just assume that they're the ugly character, like they're just ugly in real life. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's so crazy because when they're out and about, they're actually so stunning.
Yeah.
And that's
Do you feel like something that I really enjoy about reality TV is
Mhm.
like, or like these like Love Island and like those type of shows is like you could look at four girls next to each other and objectively be like that girl's like not like you could be like this girl's the most beautiful, this girl's pretty, but like you could objectively
Judge
think
them.
about who's the most beautiful or not. Same with the guys. And then you watch these like things play out and you see their personalities come into play. And very quickly does that trump anything about what they look like and make them so much cooler, hotter,
Yeah.
prettier, or so much like lamer. And you're like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like I could
Mhm.
look at three girls on paper from so many of the shows I watch, and I'm like, but just because of the way you're moving, I'm
Yeah.
like ick. But you
Yeah.
if I didn't see any of your personality, I'd be like, "Wow, you could do all of the things that
You
you
know,
wanna do."
that really applies to women because, yeah, objectively as women, you can line women up and be like, judge them and rate them however, but they'll all still be so stunning. And it's so funny to me that men think that the same applies to them when I'm like, that's not even where we start.
No, the baseline for a man, oh my god, especially in Bollywood, like, the baseline for the men in Bollywood, like, we had, like, an Arjun Rampal, we had, like, like, these 3 or 4 guys that were, like, so stunning. Hrithik Roshan, like, some of them were so stunning, but a lot of the guys that were getting, like, these gorgeous girls were, like, a Govinda. And he's just, like, funny, but he's so fucking average. Like, it
Who
doesn't take much even in real life, like, sometimes you'll see, like, I would do hair and makeup clients, and I'd see, like, oh my god, the most beautiful aunties, and they, like, really take care of themselves, and they're just so sweet and so pretty, and they're married to, like, straight duds, and I'm like,
Mhm. And you can tell
"Really?"
when they think that they're better and when you think that they're like overestimating their market value and you're like,
Yes.
No.
Oh, it's like actually making my skin crawl. Just like I can't wait for the day that these like exposés from like Bipasha, and we really need to get Bipasha's team on this.
Yeah,
Like
we need to call Bipasha.
seriously, like for them to expose the things that they've gone through in those industries. Cause I'm like, you guys all were like top dog in these industries, and then you all kind of disappeared. And I know that you're probably protecting your peace, protecting your kids, and like probably working through the shit that you had to experience because it's so nasty in that industry.
Yeah.
But like I really would love for them to expose what the fuck they went through.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say it's really interesting now also because when you look at the Desi actors that are getting famous in Hollywood, they are a lot more when you look at the Desi actors that are getting famous in Hollywood, they are darker skin. They do have sharper features. They're not as culturally or like, racially ambiguous looking. And then you look at Bollywood where still that's the standard.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting
And
to
the
me because I'm like,
preference.
that standard only became the standard because of the West.
Dude, and even yeah, of course.
And
And
now
even
it's like in reverse.
even the Pakistani dramas, dude, all the girls look like not all the girls, but a lot of the girls are so pale, and that's great. Like, okay, they're also really beautiful. But it's like I feel like they exclusively pick these girls that look
Yeah.
very much the same type of Pakistani girl. And
Yeah.
I'm like, but actually, Pakistani girls, some of us look really Asian. Some of us look really Indian. Some of us look like we all look like completely different
Yeah.
races too. So it's kind of strange that you are every time picking this one type. And we're watching Western culture, like that show about Kiki Palmer I was saying.
Mhm.
Like it's really cool because I'm like, wow, in our lifetime, and I'll segue us into Ramzan. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Like in our lifetime, we've gone from like this extremely toxic upbringing, which is what we were used to seeing, and every reality show, every The Bachelor, nothing, it was like all white. And then it started transitioning. And now we're at a point where we see like this show with Kiki Palmer, the main guy's best friend is a brown guy, but he's like a DJ. He's like a normal brown guy. Or like
Mhm.
Bridgerton, like they had the whole entire second season was about Kate, and she's
Yeah.
like this Indian girl, and they're so beautiful, and like this new season was an Asian girl, and like you're seeing it happen in our lifetime where we're like, wow, we're getting to see ourselves represented in not the traditional like, oh, do the Indian accent and be the cab driver role, which
Yeah.
is so insane. And at the same time, And it's like so healing to see that happen. And you're like, oh my God, like it makes you so proud and excited and happy. And I think the kids that grow up, our kids, and like the kids that are like our nieces and nephews right now are gonna grow up with like 9/11 not like, defining their existence in this
And like being nervous
country.
to go to
And
school on 9/11 because you're
yeah,
like, oh my
and
God,
they
here come the
understand
jokes.
nuance, and they
Yep.
understand they can see so many different versions of people on social media, and every campaign is like so much more varied, and it's just like all these things are so positive. It's not even something they'll have to think about. And then even with Eid stuff or like Ramzan stuff, like we talk about this all the time, but like we had an iftari here for my family and my in-laws, and literally Target had these like arts and crafts things that were Ramzan. You could literally walk to Target and get things for kids to do. That never existed.
Yeah.
It's gonna take like 2 or 3 cycles of generations to get us there in Pakistan or India, because I just think they're so obsessed with this like Western centered beauty
Yeah. Still,
still.
still, I'm looking at the Nepo babies over there and I'm like, guys,
Yeah.
hello, somebody,
The
anybody?
influencer girls, I think, do a really good job of being like,
Oh, yeah, for
hey,
sure.
we're in this space. We look different. This is what it looks like to be a girl that's Indian. It's cool as fuck. Like, I
Mhm.
love seeing that. But yeah, I think their media is still pretty skewed.
Yeah, it's still really
And you
skewed.
can't, it's fucked up because like you can't help but have it embedded in you. Like we can actively work on not being that way, but I feel like I could see examples of it every time I'm around Desi people, where that's still kind of the way that we move and think.
Dude, I'm like our own family members. My own father is so quick to be like, talking so highly of like, oh, in northern Pakistan, Amna, like they're so beautiful, which they are, but like they're so beautiful. They have colored eyes, like gore ki tarah wo aankhein is rahe hain, unka rang aise hai, blah blah blah. And me and Mustafa are just sitting there like, that's so nice, Dad. Thank you so much. That's so nice. I'm like, okay, you've never said anything that nice
Dude,
to me.
it's
Hello,
crazy.
Dad. I'm like, that's so crazy.
Oh my God, I remember. So, like, in my in-laws, we always watch like these like random Pakistani videos. They're very patriotic and it's really sweet. But, like, I remember we were watching this video and it was like this man in northern Pakistan, like that looked like that. He had like colored eyes and he was so like fair. And we were watching this video, and my mother-in-law was like, this looks like Pakistan. This man, this background, this is
He's a
Pakistan.
spokesperson.
And then we had a video playing of like these little kids in like other parts of Pakistan, and like I don't think they were in like a Gao type vibe. And she's like, no, like that other, they look like Pakistan. I'm like, no, ma'am. This is Pakistan. We've
Yeah.
been the Pakistan we all live in. This is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Like it's so varied. Like I love that that's what you would want it to be, but or not. I love, but it's just funny that that's what you would want it to be. But like, like we could also live in reality and find both of them cute.
It's also interesting because everyone that's saying it
Yeah, none of us have
look
that.
like that. So
Yeah.
like I like want to put a mirror up to my dad and be like, have you seen what you
But then even
have you
that's
seen
kind of
what
sad because I'm like, so you think so highly of these people based on their eye color, their skin color. But what does that mean for what you think about yourself?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what you were saying about, how we're talking about the Govindas of the world who, had these like fine actresses by their side and their love interests and they're like they're playing the bad boys. They're like, I'm
Yeah.
such a it's like that this
Yeah.
one guy I saw on TikTok and he's like, I'm a bad boy. Not like he's like not like stealing or hurting, but just bad boy, dance move. And he like does this little funny dance move. But that's who they are. And I'm like, so that's why uncles think that they are the prize.
Yeah.
Like you really thought that like you're the prize. And when
Yeah.
I say things like this in front of my dad, not only is he like shocked and appalled, but then he like gets his feelings hurt because he'll be like, that's so not nice. And I'm like, you literally were just saying that these girls that have, blue eyes and blonde hair are like the epitome of beauty, whilst I'm sitting here and you're getting your feelings hurt because I'm like, why on earth would they put him with her? That's crazy. But then, honestly, with Govinda, it makes kind of sense because he's funny.
Yeah.
Lesson to be learned: you have to be funny
Yeah.
to be able to pull a woman that
Witty,
gorgeous.
funny.
You can't just look like that and then
Yeah.
assume that they're gonna flock to you.
Mhm.
Like, that's the most insane.
It's just so
That's the
funny.
most insane concept to me.
It's so funny.
We've talked for an hour and not once touched on the fact that it is the holy month of Ramadan. We have gone on.
We've done God's work though, right here. What do you mean?
We have gone on so long. And this episode, I was really, really trying to be very mindful of the curse words coming out of my mouth.
Ooh,
I was like, yeah, and she's such a B, and she's so and the mother like
we said like the worst.
and I couldn't stop. But how's everybody's Ramadan going?
Yeah.
This one's been a weird one for me. I think that's what we can like wrap it up there. That like this one, I don't know. Sorry, I thought my mic was off. Is my mic off? No, that's me.
No.
It's like when you're playing Mario Kart and you don't know which screen you are.
Yeah.
I don't know about anybody else, but I genuinely, and I don't remember what I said last year. And if I said the same thing last year, then I'm the problem. I am the problem, actually. I don't know why I'm assuming it's anything else. But I feel like this Ramadan has been the least Ramadani of Ramadans for me. And I don't know if it's like the added weight of the political and economic state of the world. It's definitely also me. But like, I feel like even my like drive, the excitement, or like putting my head down and being like, this year I'm going to work on this, and this. I did one solid namaz where I was like, okay, we're setting the intentions. Here are my duas. You know when you do the dua where you like start crying?
Yeah, and it
then
really
you lay
hits.
on the namaz and you're like, I'm going to do so much better. And then the next day I'm like out, can't have no motivation. Like I have been so confused with my own lack of drive and will. Like I really don't know why my heart can't be so in it. I have like it's also the Ramadan that I fasted the least. It's also the one where I don't know, like I just can't get my head around it. I don't know why. Now we're at the last 10 days, so I really have to lock in.
I know. I was thinking
really have
that
to
too.
lock in.
This Ramadan also like really flew by.
Yeah.
Usually I do feel like the first week feels like, oh, we really got to get in the rhythm of this, and okay, it's starting and and then you kind of settle in and you have the iftars, but you also go to Taraweeh, and like it's sprinkled in there. And this year is, and I keep trying to do things to feel more connected. Like I keep trying to do the ambiance, and okay, I'll sit and pray, and I'll like, but I just do feel so disconnected. And I don't know. Like, I'd love to hear from other people if it's like, okay, yeah, you feel disconnected and you just kind of have to like force yourself to have the discipline and motivation to do
Yeah.
it. And maybe it's like all things, because I feel like that about the gym and stuff where I'm like, okay, but you're not going to have motivation every single day. And so
Right.
if we don't have the motivation, we should have the discipline. But like, it's just been hard this year. And then it's like, it's very dystopian because we'll like, and I include myself in that. Like, I'll open my phone and it'll be like Iran got bombed again, and there's people like stuck in these countries, and there's people that can't come back home, and Palestine's in ruins, and like all these things are happening. People can't go to Pakistan right now. There's just so much happening. And then we're sitting at home and like having an iftar with our friends and like
Trying to figure out what our
buying
Eid outfit's gonna be.
Yes, getting our Eid outfit. And then it's like, okay, when I pray, I'm like praying for the well-being of the people in my life, but I'm also trying to pray for the world. But it doesn't feel connected because you're like,
Yeah.
I'm just making this like wish into the universe of God, like hopefully this means something, but then more bad things keep happening. So
Yeah.
it's a very weird time. And then I'm thinking, because I remember talking to Muzi about this, like, I don't know, it just feels like our generation is having these really weird times. He's like, I promise you, our parents felt that way, their parents felt that way. All of us have grown up in some kind of war and
Yeah.
some kind of turmoil and some kind of really disastrous time in the world. But like it just is so strange. And I also think there's something to be said about like the social media of it all. I think when we didn't have social media, you were kind of forced to like feel what you were feeling, and it was a little more like you could control how much of it you wanted to consume or not,
Yeah.
or how disconnected you wanted to be or not. And now when I open my phone, it's literally like a Huda Beauty campaign. And then the next video was like someone crying because there isn't food in their town.
Yeah.
It's really hard to be like, what the fuck do you do?
Yeah, sorry. Theo.
Theo.
I'm glad you're
Then we have Theo, like
And then we have
living
Theo,
his own
our
fucking
dog.
world. Literally, our dog.
And then we're like, okay.
Come here. Oh my god, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's
It's
okay.
like Titanic. Jack. No, that's so well said. And it's all of that, what you just said, plus for me at least internally being like there's like I don't want to say, maybe I guess disconnect's the only word. There's a disconnect. Like the first chunk of Ramadan, the first week, I was like very sick. Then I fasted like 3 days. Then my period started. My period just ended. And now it's the last 10 days. And even despite my period though, like every day I feel like I can't even figure out what my goal post is of like what I need to reach. And then the one thing though, I will say that's kind of a positive, but also kind of a negative is on social media, because there's so much of it to consume. This is the first time I'm seeing on TikTok so many either reverts, converts, or people that were just born Muslim that are like, I really struggled with alcohol, or I really struggled with whatever it may be. And it's really refreshing because I feel like sometimes the standard, the goalpost seems like obviously it should just be so easy for everyone, even if you have an addiction or don't. Like it doesn't matter. Like, actually, let me reword how I said that.
I get what you're saying, but
like,
yeah.
It's like, I feel like for so long, it's like if you were someone who's struggling, whether it be addiction, whether it be a relationship, whether it be just how often you pray or how modest you are, for a long time it felt like you couldn't even say that you had that as something that you're struggling with, because
and be Muslim.
Yes. Because the comments are so mean and are like, how dare you even, well, you deserve to like rot in hell because you let yourself get to this place and blah 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 blah. And I still see some comments like that on certain people's posts, and it really is so disheartening, because I'm like, not everybody deals with the same things during Ramadan that they're trying to like achieve and move past, and their goalpost might be something
or
else.
in their entire journey of religion. And it's really disappointing. Like, I do think the Muslim community in general, maybe again because of how we were raised and how like this is wrong and this is right and do it right or you're gonna go to hell and get your fucking body burned, like whatever, that they're so quick to be so judgy. And you're literally, that's such a good way to put it, you're not like allowed to be a Muslim that's somewhere in between the spectrum.
Yeah, and then, or even if you're struggling with none of that, and then like I'm sitting here getting nervous, being like, yeah, I don't know, I'm just really not connected this year. I'm just really not feeling excited about it. Like I'm looking forward to not having to fast, even though I haven't fasted like all of Ramadan. Like I feel nervous saying that, because I'm like, wait, like I know that that's not good. Or even the thought of, we've talked about periods in Ramadan before, and I was thinking about how I've been trying to like switch my mindset to being like, in our last episode, we talked about how, and we were being like hearted about it, about like, okay, and then yeah, you shouldn't make it so serious. Like if you're bleeding a little bit, girl, like you got the day off. Like, we were joking around about it a lot. But I'm like trying to switch my mindset to be like, oh, it's so nice. Look how nice it is that in Islam, you as a woman don't have to, not because you're like a disgusting little blob of blood, but because, your body is going through something and you need the rest. And that's so nice. But even trying to convince my brain that it's okay that I'm not participating in some version because I'm on my period or whatever, I feel like weird. I'm like, am I not suffering enough? Am I not doing it right? Am I not doing it good enough? Am I doing it really bad? Am I like not the poster child version of it? Like, I don't know. Like, it's very strange. So yeah, if you guys are feeling that way too, and have tips and tricks, or like know what to do to get yourself out of that like funk,
or just feel in hearing Amna say that, if you just feel like not alone, even, or like
that would be nice.
I do think everyone has, and I think it's, you're saying it out loud, but even if it's not in Ramzan and it's throughout the year,
Yeah.
everybody that's Muslim has their own way of like navigating their relationship to God and feeling spiritually connected or not, and physically disciplined or not, and mentally disciplined or not. And it's definitely I don't like, how do I say this? It's not a linear progression.
Yeah.
It's really up and down for everyone. And something I think about when I think about like the way that people's religious journey is, and I will say something I'm really proud of in our family is we're not the most religious for sure, but we've all had phases of where we felt more or less connected. But I have never, ever seen any of us be judgy about the way that other people practice religion. And
That's
I'm
true.
really proud of that. And I think it's because we grew up being, by some of our family, being so micromanaged and so judged, and like it was drilled in us so much, like that you should feel shame and guilt if you're not the perfect Muslim. And I think
Yeah.
that's such a sad way to deter people from their journey through religion. Like,
Yeah.
it is okay in my mind for someone to be Muslim and figure out the way that they feel most comfortable practicing Islam. And I
Yeah.
think that people are going to have to learn that that's going to change as more and more generations are hybrid versions of the way that they've grown up here, and figuring out a way of religion that still requires discipline but works for them and their life and can be a guiding principle in their life that's more than just like, I'm living in fear. And I think a lot of
Yeah.
us, especially Desis, grew up learning religion through fear. Like, we joke about it, but like I remember like my siblings all the time being like, and then we got beat by our grand teacher, and like we laugh about it, but it's actually not funny that
Yeah.
that's how you were taught to like this like really beautiful, sweet, peaceful religion, and we're like taught it in such like a masculine way.
Yeah, and in such an aggressive way to where even in our 30s that we're not doing it. Like that I'm sitting here being like, am I doing it right? Like I was saying this literally to Robbie on the car ride home from your iftar, where I was like, I am the most certain and the most proud of being Muslim the older I get. But yet, this Ramadan, I'm having the hardest time, I don't know, locking in and feeling like I'm doing it right and feeling like I'm doing it good enough and feeling like I'm doing it in a way where it really truly counts. And then there's like this voice in the back of my head that's like telling me like, no, but you're not struggling hard enough. No, but you're not doing good enough. No, but you didn't go to Tarawih. No, but you didn't do this. No, but you didn't do that. And I'm like, okay, like where do I start? Okay, maybe should I start with this namaz? Should I start with this? Am I doing it this? Like I start like doubting it,
Yeah.
and I start panicking, and then I go on TikTok and then I see other people that are talking about things that they're struggle, like I said, addiction with alcohol or something that's way worse, something that I'm not struggling with, where I'm like, wow, okay. Like I feel like those people inspire me so much more and bring me so much more like hope, and are like, I'm like rooting for them. I'm like, okay, yeah, no, but you're doing so good, and okay, good job, you're talking about it, and like, okay, great. And then I'll look at the comments and they're so
Oh my
mean,
God,
and
that makes me
I'm like,
so
oh my god,
sad.
like I'm so,
Be nice to
be nice, like oh my
them.
god, like we're a podcast called Confessions of a Desi Drama Queen, and I'm
Ugh.
having a hard time confessing that I'm having a hard time,
No,
and
dude, that
someone
makes me
who's
so
genuinely putting
sad.
themselves out there saying like, hey, I'm really struggling with something that's really not easy, and everyone's being so mean,
You
and
know,
I'm
and
like,
it's all those people that it's really sad because it is so easy to sit on your fucking high horse and be like,
mm-hmm.
this person's doing it wrong and that person's doing it wrong. And one of the things I really appreciate about Islam is how important it is to not be that person.
Yeah.
Like, how important it is to shut up about other people's sins because you don't know what good they're doing, you just don't know anything. You actually don't know shit. And the whole thing is you're supposed to be humble and you really don't know shit. So if you're going to sit here on a high horse and think you're better than everybody else, like we would always talk about this. I would much personally much rather be the person that hasn't done 5 prayers a day and hasn't figured it out yet, but have faith that I will figure it out, than be the person that thinks that I have. And I'm not saying that everyone that does Islam correctly is this person, by the way.
Yeah.
There are lots of girls and guys that we know that are such great Muslims and genuinely never make it a point or never judge another person. And I'm
Yeah.
so grateful to have people like that in our life. But for the people on the internet and otherwise that are so fucking judgy about what other Muslims are like, it's like if you it's so crazy to me, the hypocrisy, because if that's how religious you are, how do you not have self-reflection? It's like those people genuinely lack
They
self-reflection.
do. You
Yeah.
know, one time, last bit, because I know we're like, this episode's gone a lot longer than I thought it was. Every time
I
we do a home episode, I'm like, yes, and I will do like a
know.
quick 20, 30 minutes. And then it ends up being our longest
Yeah.
episodes. But when I was in college, yeah, I was in college. My cousins and I started this thing. One of my older cousins started it for us where we basically broke off in groups, and it would be like your team picks a topic that you guys want to talk about in Islam, and then you present it to the rest of the cousins, because I have like 500 of them, right? So like one of my cousins did like manners, what we just talked about, like not to be judgmental. And then me and my cousin, and most of the time these were done like within the cousins. And obviously, like, because there's so many of us and we're all different ages, like we're being annoying about it. We're like, I don't want to do the PowerPoint, whatever. But still, we did it. Sorry, I thought Theo was gonna bark. Still, we did it together, and it was like a fun cousin hangout.
Mm-hmm.
The one that my cousin and I did, she and I did it on women in Islam. And like, we made a whole PowerPoint presentation about all the amazing achievements that women in Islam did and how misogyny impacts Islam, and like,
This
wow,
is
these
very
women really
insightful
did.
for like young you.
Right. And we were so proud, and we were
Yeah.
like, and look, and they did, they fought wars, and they took care of this, and they did that, and like, whatever. We have this whole presentation. The day that we do our presentation happens to fall on a day where we have a family party. So now all the adults are involved in this presentation, and we're nervous. We're nervous off the rip, but everyone, like my cousins are like, no, like it's okay. So it's all my uncles, it's all my aunts, it's my dad and my mom, like everyone's sitting there. And off the rip, my cousin, she's like, hey, like, do you think we should like put like a hijab on or something? And I literally was like, no, we're doing this in front of our family. No. Immediately, as we start the presentation, my uncle was like, why aren't you guys wearing dupattas on your head? And we were like, oh,
Of course it was your uncle.
okay. Right. And it gets worse. We're going through the presentation about women in Islam, the Prophet's wives. And
I'm so
have
scared.
an uncle literally in the middle of our presentation. And it's like a 5 minute, it's not even that long. It was like a 3 to 5 minute presentation. In the middle of our presentation is like, we all don't need to know this. Like, we get it. Like, we already know this information. Why are you telling us this? My uncle went into a presentation about women, and me and my cousin are like, mortified. And then
I
my
would die.
other older cousin, who was also a guy, now he's arguing with my uncle. He's like, let them finish. Like, okay, it's okay that they're telling us, like, we are all not perfect Muslims. We need reminders. He's like really fighting the good fight. We're standing there mortified. Like, I'm pretty sure I had a tear in my eye.
Oh my God, because you were probably so excited.
And then we like, and then he was like, guys, carry on. And we were like, okay. And then we finished our presentation. And I was like, and if that doesn't sum up, like if that doesn't sum up the existence of what we live by.
Literally.
Oh my God, it was so bad.
I remember being in high school, and we were with our oldest Kala, and
Ugh.
she's very religious. And there was this book, and I think she got it we were at this, like, I don't know, Islamic something. And dude, at this time, Islamic stuff was not fun. Like, in today's day and age, there's like fun Islamic stuff going on for kids, and they go to the coffee shops, and then they go to this like khutbah,
Like
and
roots.
it's like really fun, and it's really cool. But like, it was not like that at that time. And so this book, like the front page of this book was like hellfire.
Oh God.
And it was all the ways you're punished in Islam, in hell, for like all the things. And you know about my anxiety, guys. You know who I am and how I am. And I was like, I don't know, 10, 12, like really young. And I'm like reading page to page. each thing that happens to you for like not cutting your nails weekly or having your hair out or having your lashes out and just like and then the act like it's like the punishment for each of these things and it's very descriptive. It's
Okay.
very descriptive and I like I had to put it down and I was bawling
You
crying.
were reading the book?
Yes, I was
You were
reading the book.
memorizing
She
each
was like,
one?
"You need this. You read it. My daughters are fine. You read this book." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "This is gonna help me be better." And like, dude, I was bawling, crying. I was bawling. I was like, "This is like, oh my god, this is so scary. Oh my god, I'm gonna die." Like it was effective though. I'm not gonna lie. It was
Clearly.
pretty effective at that time. But
Clearly.
like, dude, it's so funny that that's the ways they were like, no, and we're gonna get them to understand our religion better.
Yeah, and you're like 10 years old and you're reading a book on
Yeah, and it's like, and
hellfire.
then the pigs will eat your
And you're gonna be
fingers,
hung
and
by your hair
yeah,
upside down
and
by
like
each
each
strand.
eyelash will be plucked off. And he said, and I'm like, oh my god,
You're like, okay.
I'm done. Oh my god, so listening to music, watching TV. I'm like, my whole personality is gonna land me in hell.
Yeah, but I would visit Chicago and stay with our oldest Hala, and Son and I would do like in front of like a room full of aunties.
Yeah, we were performers.
We were performers
from the beginning of time.
Beginning of time, we with our microphones
Yep.
sat with our notebook and we would perform nothing.
Yep.
And I literally, first of all, there was no rehearsal.
No,
We had no rehearsal. We had no soundstage lighting. No one tested anything.
And these mics were like the mics from our last home episode. They're
Yeah, where it's like
they're-
screeching
yeah,
in your
making
ear.
your ears bleed. It's like
I'm not
no.
gonna lie, because like, you know, for anyone that's like been in a room of Desi, Antia, Mitz, nothing,
Yeah,
they get into the flow
Mid
of things.
melod.
It gets like
Oh.
really into it. And now
Yeah.
you have like two
They're
13-year-olds.
all like auditioning for American Idol together.
Yeah.
And they won't stop. Like nobody's saying encore, and they're like, I'll just do one more.
Yeah. And then you have us two 13-year-olds that like literally just yesterday went to the beach and like had a whole shopping day. And
Yeah.
then we're like, and tomorrow we have our performance. And
Yeah.
then we're like sitting with our notebook. I started feeling a sense of power. I started feeling really powerful. And like that's not something that I grew up with on my dad's side. So
Yeah.
like my dad had, I don't think to this day my dad really understands like what I've done
What
for
you
the
were doing.
community here. Yeah, like who I was as a performer and our notebook,
my
and we'd have it, and it was
God.
all in Urdu too.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what a time!
What a time.
And I feel like there's footage of that out there somewhere.
Please.
We have
gotta
to find it. Yeah, it's like I'm
Do we
sure
wanna
it's my
release
mom
it?
who was not
For sure.
participating, by the way.
Yeah.
Sitting in the stairs, no dupatta on her head,
Yeah.
making videos,
Yeah.
like with nail
So
polish
funny.
on, fully like, and there she
So
goes,
funny.
as she goes, and I'd be like, Mom, you get up here and do it then. Why are you making me do it?
Oh my god. Okay.
On that note,
I do have a Can I Be a Bitch? Do you have a Can I Be a Bitch?
oh my god, I forgot we did that. No, I don't.
No, I
but
don't
I'll
forget. I
think of
forgot
one.
too. But I exclusively was like, we have to do in this episode in my head because
Okay.
and you were laughing when I texted this to Amna.
Oh yeah.
While we were
I'm
having
ready.
iftar at our house, there was like a fight, like a boy fight, like a UFC
MMA fight, like a
yeah,
UFC,
like
a boy fight.
somebody was fighting somebody, okay? And you know what's really funny to me about these like fights is like I'll never ever hear the boys talk about these people. Ever. Okay.
Okay.
Like we're like the fighters.
Right.
You know, but then the day of they know everything about them.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you know, he's been da-da-da and he came from
And when he was
here,
6 years
da-da-da,
old, yeah,
da-da-da."
you know.
And I'm like, I've literally never heard you say his name. I don't think you follow him, but like, you know everything on this random day of this random fight, like the way these things just happen. And so we're watching it with my brother, husband, our cousin, like we're all sitting and watching it together. And I look at Amna and I'm like, these boys are on top of each other. They're damn near making
No,
out.
they did make out. Their lips
They're
literally
lip
touched
to
each
lip.
other. They
They're
went lip to lip.
cuddling. They're literally, this is what me and my girl cousins look like when we're cuddling each
Yeah.
other. They're cuddling. They're just cuddling and they're about to make out and they're 3 seconds away from each other and they're always paused in
Yeah.
this like position, you know?
And they hold it there, and then they like scooch in a little bit more. Even the pre-fight, like right before the fight, when they like get each other riled up. I feel like, I don't know, it's really weird because boys, before they fight, they take their shirts off. They get so close where it's almost like you obviously want to kiss each other. Just kiss each other. Like, you're right there. You're right there. Just do it. And they get so close and they're like right there and they're going to kiss each other, but they're huffing and puffing. They're breathing heavy.
So much
Their eyes are squinting. There's
tension.
so much tension. And like, there's like naked, the girls that like hold the signs that are like naked
But
in the
they're not
back.
interested in the girls.
That's what I'm saying. They literally don't care that the girls are naked in the back. The girls are like staying there all cute, and the guys are just like so in each other's
Huffing
face,
and
like
puffing.
huffing and puffing, like so mad, shirts off,
Like it's heated rivalry.
yeah. And
No,
they,
it's
and
insane.
I'm like,
and the boys are watching this at home, and I paused it to put something else on, and they were like, "Put the vibe back on." I'm like, "You just want to watch them roll over on each other?" I'm
and make
so
out.
confused.
Yeah, and then I wonder, I'm like, after the fight, like, did you guys like? You had to have been like, yeah, we totally made out. Like, yeah, I totally.
Dude, and it's like the
lips.
manliest sport. It's just so funny to me.
It's so. Because they don't call it, whenever they watch, like when we're watching like Love Island and stuff, they always are like, oh, that's for girls, blah, 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 that's for girls. Or we'll be watching like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something else.
All of those.
America's Next Top Model. And these girls are flung upside down, being held by their pinky toe.
It's athleticism.
It's athleticism.
Right.
It's endurance.
Yes.
And never are they like, wow, look at the muscles, like the way that she's holding herself up by just her pinky toe. Wow, that's athleticism. Hello, Muzi. We're talking a lot of shit about your favorite show about boys making out. All right. And so they never have anything to say about that. And then when it's two boys making out, or
they're like
about to make
locked
out,
into the screen, like turn it back on.
and then
we're
I
like,
get mad because
"What?"
I'm like, how come you never get that close to me yearning in a fight? You know what I mean? Like, how come when we fight, you don't take your shirt off, get that close to my face, and are like, I'm not what I said to you yesterday? Because I'm literally, you guys, I'm blushing thinking about it. I'm like, oh my God, that'd be, I would stop the fight. I'd be like, oh my God, you're right. Yeah. Like, how come that's not how we fight? Like, that's so annoying. Why is our fight like you farting?
Like,
and
I
I'm
just
screaming?
think if you changed the music to be like romantic music and they had a little smirk on their face, everything about it would change. The tone would be completely different.
Also, the fact that they have to like practice, like you have to be practicing in the shower, like what you're gonna do when you see the guy, and then you're gonna be so mad, and then they have to like think about their wardrobe.
Oh my God.
Because a lot of times when they're wearing like their spandex,
and there's like
leotard underwear,
billionaires like sponsoring them, like billionaires like putting money behind them, and in the stands like really serious and hot and bothered about what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And it's literally,
they put money on them.
It's crazy if you think about it. This is like, dude, it's absurd.
It is pretty absurd, actually. And it's interesting because, like in a lot of Muslim countries, like, because I watch a lot of WWE, which is very much the same thing, because my husband watches a lot of WWE. And like whenever there's a show in Dubai and stuff, he'll like make it a point to be like, yeah, see, they have to like, the girls have to cover up all the way because it's the show in Dubai. And I'm like, but the guys are still.
Wait, so the guys can still be naked?
I think they wear like tights, like pants tights.
Oh, under their like shorts?
Under their shorts, or like just as tights. But I'm like, that's still pretty sexual. Like, that's still pretty revealing.
It's just so interesting. So yeah, that's my gripe with the men this week.
That's a great Can I Be a Bitch.
Thank you.
I guess my Can I Be a Bitch was like the judgy people on, like Muslim talk. So I guess that could qualify as my Can I Be a Bitch. But now I'm like.
You know who does that a lot, by the way?
What?
Do you follow Shake Beauty?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
I fucking love her, first of all.
Yeah. I've been following her for a minute.
Yeah. And like, first of all, she's so fucking beautiful. Sorry, I'm swearing so much. I was really trying not to. And then I just like fell off the rails and just went really hardcore. But like, she's so beautiful. She's a mom. She's so kind. She seems to be so kind. She gets so vulnerable. I just like really, really love her energy. I love seeing her post. And like, she has made decisions on and off to wear hijab, and I see all the time people in her comments just being so. Some people are really kind, really, really kind, but the people that are, the fucking Karens of the Muslim community are so mean to her, and I'm like, oh my God, like let her live.
Yeah, that's a great Can I Be a Bitch. Also because the Karens aren't even the age of our aunties anymore. They're literally our class fellows.
Yeah,
they are literally our age. Girls are our age being the Karens of our community.
It's like a cat as their like Instagram photo.
It's so
I always wait for someone to like, I get messages very seldomly about me having a dog. Very seldomly
Mhm.
though. But I was thinking that because I'm literally posting on my story that I had an iftar for our families. And it's like our families and they're doing these like Ramzan activities and like we have a full iftar and then my dog's like hanging out with the cousins. And
Yeah.
I'm like always like, oh, I wonder if people are like, what the fuck is this confused ass
Girl
girl,
doing.
And I'm like, I literally am always like, come for me. Please try to come for me. Because
Come for her.
if you think that you can tell me that my dog is not like the definition of like unconditional love, I don't really care. I actually don't really care. And so I'm always like thinking that. And I actually hate how much, maybe it's just the Desi thing, but like how much Desis and or Muslims, you don't have to have a dog in your house. That's fine. Like if you feel strongly about that, I totally understand your perspective. But like it really bugs me that Muslims or Desis think that that means they should be mean to animals. Like I have a
Yeah.
huge issue with that. Like just
Yeah.
because you can't have a dog in your house doesn't mean you should treat dogs like shit.
That's yeah.
Is another, I guess, can I be a bitch?
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good one because they're so mean to them in
They're
Pakistan and they're
so
so
mean, dude.
like they're starving and they kick them and they're
Yeah.
so mean to them. And
Yeah.
it's like that's also a sin to be mean to
Yeah.
animals. That's also
Like
really
I don't
messed
care
up.
what you think at the end of the day. It's I like in no version of the God that we all believe in no version of that God do I think God would condone you abusing and mistreating animals.
Yeah.
Any animal. I actually don't care what animal it is. Like
Yeah.
in no world is that like I can't cut my nails after 8 p.m. It's gonna send me to hell. But you think that you treating a dog badly, but you prayed 3 times today, and you think that that's
Gonna like wipe the other one out.
it just like doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Wow, you've been so not that today only, but I'm like, today is so insightful
Wow,
and
so
like
are
really hitting the heart.
you.
My can I be a bitch that I thought of was
Go,
like
go.
is not that
No, it's okay.
strong, but like I get really mad when during fasting people say you can't brush your teeth. That's a problem for
No,
me.
that's valid.
I'm sorry. That's a problem for me. That's insane that you're not gonna brush your teeth. You're not gonna brush your teeth in your fasting.
Dude, I never knew where to stand on that. Like, I agree with you, but I just never because some people were really strongly like,
I
"You
know, and I
can't,"
know a
was
lot of
like,
people that are
"Dude,
like
do I
pretty strong
not?"
about it, but
But like,
I'm
how do
like,
you want us to go to school like
not only that, I think we all forget that cleanliness is also a big
Yeah.
part of Islam. And I think that brushing your teeth, even if it's just with a miswak, I think it's
Yeah.
like you can't just not, or like, okay, at minimum, brush your teeth before,
Like right after Sari.
yeah, like right when Sari's about to end, brush your teeth and then go about your day. You
No,
know
but
what
I
I
agree with
mean?
you to wake up in the day and like have a
I
dirty
think to
mouth
be
all day.
mad that somebody's brushing your teeth or try to if you're gonna try to convince me that my fast doesn't count because I brush my teeth, I genuinely my brain will not and cannot accept that.
Period.
Will not and cannot accept that. And then I had another one that I thought of that was like,
We're doing doubles today.
now we're just letting things off our chest.
Yeah.
But now it's not coming to me, so I'll save it for next week.
Okay. Well, I think that was a good episode.
Yeah, that was pretty solid. Hopefully you guys
covered
can hear us much better this time.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that, guys.
Yeah. And thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, I think we'll be next. I think our next episode is Eid episode. Or do we have one more before
Probably.
Eid?
We'll probably have one right before Eid.
Yes, we have one more Ramzan episode.
Yes.
And in that one, we'll be in studio. We're going to do confessions and all the things. And then we'll have an Eid episode.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Talk to you
Bye,
guys later.
guys.
Bye.